Catherine.
Were you a good student growing up?
I was a conscientious student, but I spent half my time in the theatre.
Yeah.
We become the best we can, and we can't jump from the rooftops shouting, about, I have this, look at me.
Imagine a life filled with dazzling lights, glamorous red carpets, and a love story that seemed like it could conquer anything. Now, picture that same life hiding a heartbreak so deep it would bring anyone to their knees. That's the story of Catherine Zeta-Jones, a woman who seemed to have it all: beauty, talent, fame, and a fairy tale marriage to Michael Douglas. Yet, at 55, her journey has been marked by pain, struggle, and a strength that's hard to fathom. What could possibly make the life of this Hollywood icon so heartbreaking? How did a woman who shone so brightly face shadows so dark? Grab a seat, because this story will tug at your heart and show you a side of Catherine Zeta-Jones you never knew. Let's start where the heartbreak began to take root. Back in September 2010, Catherine and Michael's world turned upside down. Michael, her husband of 10 years, was diagnosed with throat cancer. It was a punch to the gut for both of them. Michael, a man known for his strength and charisma, was suddenly fighting for his life. The treatments were brutal. Radiation and chemotherapy drained his energy, leaving him a shadow of the vibrant star the world adored. Catherine was right there by his side, holding his hand, trying to keep their family together. But inside, she was crumbling. She later shared that she felt like a complete wreck watching the man she loved suffer. Can you imagine the pain of seeing someone you care about go through something so awful, feeling helpless to fix it? For Catherine, it was like carrying a heavy weight on her heart every single day. What made things even harder was how long it took for doctors to figure out what was wrong with Michael. For months, he had been in pain, complaining about his throat and ear, but the answers didn't come quickly. Catherine was furious, and who wouldn't be? Watching someone you love struggle while the help they need. It is delayed is enough to make anyone feel angry and powerless. Michael, though, refused to give up. He told the world he was going to beat this, and his determination was like a spark of hope in the darkness. By January 2011, after months of grueling treatments, he shared the incredible news. He was cancer-free. For Catherine, it must have felt like she could finally breathe again. Their family, Michael, Catherine, and their 2 kids, Dylan and Karis, had made it through a nightmare. But just when they thought the worst was over, life threw another curveball. Not long after Michael's recovery, Catherine faced a battle of her own. In April 2011, she made a brave choice. She checked herself into a mental health facility. Why? She was struggling with bipolar II disorder, a condition that brings deep lows, moments of low energy, and sometimes lighter highs called hypomania. The stress of the past year, watching Michael fight cancer, keeping their family strong, and dealing with the constant pressure of fame had pushed her to a breaking point. Her team explained that she needed time to rest and focus on her mental health. It's a reminder that even someone who seems to have it all, money, success, a beautiful family, can still feel overwhelmed by life's challenges. Catherine's honesty about her struggles showed the world that she wasn't just a glamorous star. She was a real person, facing real pain, just like anyone else. As if that wasn't enough, their marriage started to show cracks. In August 2013, the news hit that Catherine and Michael were taking a break. It was a polite way of saying their relationship was struggling under the weight of everything they'd been through. Some of the tension came from comments Michael made about his illness that stirred up controversy, which only added more stress to Catherine's life. People started to whisper, could this be the end of one of Hollywood's favorite couples? Love is strong, but can it really survive so many storms? For a while, it seemed like their story might end there. But sometimes, a break isn't the end. It's a moment to step back, to breathe, and to figure out what really matters. Catherine and Michael's story wasn't over, but it was about to take a turn that would show just how strong they could be. Catherine's life wasn't always full of heartbreak. Her journey started long before the fame and the struggles in a small town in Wales where a young girl dreamed big. Even as a kid, Catherine was special. At just 10 years old, she won a national talent contest by singing a song with all the confidence of a seasoned performer. By 17, she was starring in a big theater production in London called Second Street. Can you imagine being that young and already shining on such a big stage? Her big break came in the early 90s with a TV show called The Darling Buds of May. Suddenly, everyone in the UK knew her name. She was a star, but she wasn't content with just being a local celebrity. She wanted more, and she wasn't afraid to work for it. Hollywood came calling after a few bumps in the road. Some of her early films, like one about Christopher Columbus in '92, didn't do so well. But Catherine didn't chase quick fame or easy money. She wanted a career that would last. Her patience paid off when Steven Spielberg spotted her in a TV miniseries about the Titanic in '96. He thought she'd be perfect for a movie called The Mask of Zorro. That role in 1998, alongside Antonio Banderas, made her a global star. From there, her career soared. Movies like Entrapment, Traffic, and Chicago, where she won an Oscar in 2002, proved she was one of the best. She had this incredible mix of grace and fire that made her unforgettable. But behind the scenes, her life was more complicated than the world knew. Her love story with Michael Douglas started like something out of a movie. They met in '98 at a film festival, and Michael didn't waste any time. He told her he wanted to be the father of her kids. Catherine wasn't impressed at first and even walked away, but Michael sent flowers and an apology, and soon they were falling in love. They got engaged on New Year's Eve in '99 and married in a huge, glamorous wedding at New York's Plaza Hotel in 2000. Their 25-year age difference made headlines, and plenty of people doubted they'd last. But Catherine and Michael proved them wrong, year after year. Their love wasn't perfect, though. The media was harsh, calling Catherine names like gold digger, because Michael was a wealthy, older star. Those words hurt, but she stood tall, reminding everyone that she had her own career, her own success, and didn't need anyone else's money. Their wedding wasn't all glitz and glamour either. It turned into a legal battle. A magazine published photos of their big day without permission, even though Catherine and Michael had sold the rights to another magazine for £1 million. They fought in court and won. But the stress of it all was another weight on their shoulders. Through it all, Catherine kept working, kept shining, and kept proving she was more than just a famous name. She and Michael raised their 2 kids, Dylan and Karis, and built a life together, even as the world watched their every move. Being a Hollywood star isn't as easy as it looks. Catherine's career meant she was always on the move, flying to different cities, living out of suitcases and spending weeks or months away from her family. Her latest project, a thriller for Amazon Prime, will have her filming in places like Swansea, Bilbao, Lisbon, and London, starting in March 2025. It sounds exciting, but it also means time away from home, away from her kids, away from Michael. Catherine has admitted that this constant travel can feel lonely. You might have all the fame in the world, but what's it worth if you're missing the people you love? As a mom, she's felt the guilt of missing moments with her kids, like their first steps or school events, because her job kept her away. She once said she doesn't try to be a Wonder Woman who can do it all, because no one can. That honesty makes her story so relatable, doesn't it? Even a superstar struggles to balance work and family. Other actors understand this too. Will Smith once said you have to choose between focusing on your career or your relationships, because one will always suffer a little. For Catherine, that tug of war has been real. When her kids were little, she could bring them along to sets, but as they grew older and started school, she had to leave them behind more often. It's a sacrifice that weighs heavy on any parent's heart. Yet, Catherine has always tried to find a balance to be there for her kids while still chasing her dreams. It's not easy, and it's another layer of the heartbreak she's carried, knowing that no matter how hard she tries, she can't be everywhere at once. Now, at 55, Catherine is stepping into a new chapter. She and Michael recently sold their big house in Irvington for $12 million. Why? Because their kids, Dylan and Karis, have grown up and moved out. The house felt too big, too empty without them. It's a moment so many parents can relate to, when the home you built for your family suddenly feels like it belongs to a different time. Instead of staying put, Catherine and Michael are looking to spend more time in Europe, especially in Spain, where they have deep ties. Michael has said he fell in love with Catherine in Mallorca, and now they want to be closer to their daughter, Karis, who's studying abroad. It's a chance to slow down, to focus on family, and to enjoy life in a quieter way. Michael, at 80, has stepped back from acting. He's been in the business for nearly 60 years and says he doesn't want to push himself too hard anymore. He's happy playing golf and letting Catherine take the spotlight. It's a shift that feels right for them, a chance to enjoy the life they've built together. Catherine, meanwhile, is still working, still shining, but she's also reflecting on what matters most. As they approach their 25th wedding anniversary on November 18, 2023, she's proud of how far they've come. People doubted their marriage because of their age gap, but Catherine just laughs it off, saying it's just math. She's learned that love isn't about being perfect. It's about sticking together through the hard times, respecting each other, and finding joy in the little moments. Catherine's story isn't just about heartbreak, it's about resilience. She's faced cancer in her family, her own mental health struggles, and the pressures of fame. But she's never stopped fighting. She's a mom, a wife, a star, and a woman who's learned to embrace her flaws and her strength. At 55, she's not slowing down, but she's choosing what matters most: her family, her health, and her happiness. Her journey reminds us that even the brightest stars face dark days, but it's how they rise again that makes them truly unforgettable. Thank you so much for watching Catherine's story. If it touched your heart or made you see her in a new light, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who loves a good story, and hit that subscribe button for more. Want another inspiring tale? Check out the video on your screen right now. Keep watching, and let's celebrate the strength of people like Catherine together.